everybody. I want to welcome you all to our conversation today about diversity and inclusivity at the Nicholas School. I'm Toddi Steelman, and I am the Dean of the Nicholas School. I've been Dean for about 18 months now, and learning about diversity and inclusivity within the school and within the Duke environment has been one of the most enjoyable parts of my job. And I'm very pleased to be joined today with a great panel that's going to be here to have a conversation today about some of these issues. So I'm going to start here to my left. Betsy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Betsy Albright, and I'm assistant professor of the practice of environmental science and policy methods, and I'm also the chair of the environmental economics and policy program.
Very good. And we have two students joining us today, and I'll leave it up to them to introduce themselves.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Yi Wang. I'm a first year MEM student. My concentration is ecosystem science and conservation, and my academic interest is the species diversity patterns and the species interaction, especially in plant communities.
Very good.
Hi, my name is Matias and Yi. I'm originally from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I'm a second year MEM. I'm concentrating in energy and environment, and my academic interests are with renewable energy and energy policy.
Very good. Very good. So I'd like to start off with just an easy question, I think. What does diversity and inclusivity mean to you all and within the field of the environment? Matias, you want to start?
Sure. I guess for me, being an international student and coming to Duke, it was really important to find a sense of community here and being able to work on environmental issues and develop my academic and professional skills with people with different backgrounds and different, not only academic and professional interests, but also different perspectives in terms of where they came from and the view of the world. And in the context of environment, I think it's really important to have that diversity and that difference of ideas and have different people bring their experience, not only professionally, but their life experiences to the table and being able to work with that.
Very good.
Okay, for me, that we all live on the same planet, so we share the same environment, so we need to hear and listen to different voices from different kinds of people. So you need to maybe know different culture backgrounds, and so that will make this global cooperation more efficient to solve the global environmental issues.
That's great. I think that also kind of builds on some of my own definitions and the way I think about it within the school too, because as you try to build a more diverse community, you have to think about how you make it inclusive for all of those voices and ideas and perspectives. And because we have such challenging environmental problems, if we don't have diversity in the perspectives that we have when we think about what those problems are or what the solutions are to them, we're going to be less effective as practitioners, as academics, as researchers. So building that environment is really important for a whole variety of reasons. Some of which are really pragmatic. We want to do our jobs really well, and some of which are, moral and ethical. Like we want to have a more diverse community that really represents the world at large. Betsy, as a professor here at the Nicholas School, how do you think about these issues in your classroom, or how do you see them, or what do you try to do to weave them in your curriculum?
It's a great question. And one of the things I think about first is when I design the syllabus, and I'm really mindful about having a diversity of voices on the syllabus itself and whether or not those topics are covered by a variety of voices, and whether, like, thinking about energy and data analytics, who has spoken to this, and thinking about it in terms of energy justice or an environmental justice component. Even though it's a kind of a generalized stats course, that doesn't mean that it needs to all be coming from the same voice. So thinking about the syllabus there. And I also think it's critical that not only in my course, but across all the courses in the school, that we have a wide range of opportunities for students to engage with different topics and different people who are affected by and provide creative solutions to the environment.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I hear about, my role as dean is that we have to be attentive as instructors in the classroom about who's in the class and how we create an inclusive environment in the classroom too, right? And I know that you've dealt with some of these issues because, we have students who come from different backgrounds, and, they don't all come into an American system of education with the same expectations. So making sure there's equal opportunity for people to participate in the classroom is also something we have to be thinking about. Maybe you guys could tell me a little bit about what kind of D&I activities you participate in.
Mhm.
I'll start back over with you.
Yeah, sure. Well, I guess in my case, I've been working with two groups in particular, which are the NICNATS and Forum, which are more focused towards extracurricular activities such as outdoor trips and social gatherings and events. And I think the thing I like the most about it, being the international representative in both of them, is the ability to being able to bring people in, especially international students who might still be trying to find their niche or trying to find people to meet and socialize here, especially in another country and in a new setting, trying to create those spaces for them to be able to not only have a good time with those activities, but also meet people and find that in the end we have all very similar interests in terms of environment and career and professional goals, and creating that setting for them.
Very good.
Okay, for me as a Chinese student, Duke University has a Chinese Student and Scholars Association. So they will have special orientations and they can maybe organize some celebration to some certain important festivals in China and also in Asia.
Yeah.
So that will make you feel very welcome, and it's like a big family. So it will make me maybe settle down very quickly. And also, I work with Nancy Kelly. She's in charge of the global connections. We're now planning the Lunar New Year's for the Nicholas School, and so this event will not only allows maybe the Asian student who celebrates the Spring Festival in home. It will also maybe encourage the domestic American student to join us to know what the authentic Chinese or Asian culture is. So I think that's very fun.
When is the lunar celebration?
It's the next week, Friday.
Great.
Yeah.
I'll look forward to that.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. What about you?
So I see this as two different things. One, the personal, and two, the academic. As a queer faculty at the Nicholas School, I try to support all LGBTQIA+ affiliated students, and whether or not that's through our queer network or through various student groups, I try to be as involved as I can in those meetings and parties, and support any student that wants to talk about issues they're concerned about. More than welcome to come to my office and talk to me. On a second thing, I'm from a more academic lens, I'm really interested in environmental justice issues, energy justice issues, and I support students either through our kind of vast courses that we have offered, as well as kind of an environmental justice reading group and different avenues to tackle issues of disproportionate burdens of environmental effects.
That's great. That's great. You know, one of the things that I do is we have a group within the Nicholas School called the Actionators, who it's comprised of faculty and staff throughout the school. And I learned about it last year because the Nicholas School has a very different approach in terms of dealing with diversity and inclusivity within the school. Instead of having a single point person that deals with diversity and inclusivity, we have an entire committee of people that deals with that throughout the school, and we meet weekly. And last year I learned about the Actionators, and I said, I really want to sit on that committee as dean, because I think it's really important that I be present and be a voice there and understand what's happening at the school around these issues. And it's been really great. One of the things we're going to do this week in the Actionators is read this book. We read this book over break called White Fragility, and we're going to have a conversation about that. So we do some of these interesting things within that group, and that's been a lot of fun. I also work very actively with DICE, which is our Diverse and Inclusive Community for the Environment group, which is kind of an affinity group of people who are concerned about these issues in the school, and that's been a really fun part of learning about what the students are doing related to this. So I feel like I've got something of a finger on the pulse of what our students are doing, and then what our faculty and staff are also interested in too. So that's been fun to learn about. What sort of expectations did you guys have in coming to Duke that were realized or not realized? Were there any sort of stereotypes or expectations that you thought you might be facing that turned out, yep, it was exactly that way, or maybe not so much?
Well, that's a good question. I think in my case, coming to a different country and especially the US, you hear so many things about the college system here and the university system here. And I think a lot of it you get exposed through different medias of culture like movies and television and all that. And being able to experience that firsthand, I would say some of the things were true, like the importance of like sports and basketball, and Duke especially. That would be the one thing that's true. But I do feel like, on the other hand, one of the stereotypes that I think fortunately wasn't true so much was that, at least in my experience, the university, looking at from the outside, would seem like a very competitive or maybe hostile environment, and you do see that people are working very hard and trying to be successful, but at the same time, I did find a very like supportive community of alumni and faculty, and in a way, I feel very confident that whether I have academic or professional concerns, I will have a net of support that will help me achieve those goals.
Mhm.
So in that sense, it was a stereotype that thankfully was broken down in a way. So I think those two would stand out for me.
Sure.
Yeah, for me, as expected, Duke is a very inclusive group. So it means we can meet all kinds of people, all students, different student groups, and etc. And before I came to Duke, someone told me that the life here is very boring. But I found that opposite. It's like you have a lot of maybe sports games, and also you have a lot of great restaurants, and also, yeah, life is fun now. It's not that boring.
Sure. Very good. Betsy, I'll turn back to you. Do you have any insights in terms of how you interact with the Durham community? I know we put a lot of emphasis, on outreach within the school. Can you give some examples about how you interact with folks out in the Durham community, either personally or professionally?
And so again, I see it as kind of two sides. One, academically, I've advised multiple master's projects with clients that are situated in Durham or Chapel Hill or Raleigh. I bring issues of Durham into the classroom, and whether that's a transportation related issue or housing issue or whatever environmental issues. There's always, with Raleigh nearby being the capital, there's always policies floating there that are really ripe for student discussion. In terms of my own engagement, personal engagement with Durham, I try to be an active member of the Durham community, whether that's attending neighborhood meetings, city council meetings, different organizations, when I can, when it's possible, to engage and really think about some of the issues that Durham is working through.
Sure, good. Have you guys found ways to get involved?
Yeah, sure. So for the Durham community, I received a lot of emails about the program Meals on the Wheels. They would, the Nicholas School, the faculty, staff, and students will deliver the food, I think each Friday morning, and to the people in need. And academically speaking, last semester I took the wetland course. So there's a SWAMP program in the Durham. So it's that the full name is Stream and Wetland Assessment and Management Park. So it will maybe improve the water quality, and so that's a one way that the Nicholas community interact with the Durham community.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, I think one example for me was, I think it was one of the first weeks I had arrived here at Durham. I did one of these volunteering activities organized by the Nick School, which involved helping clean up one of the areas in Durham near Natural Reservoir, which was filled with trash and other types of waste. So we went out there and helped out. There's this group of people who are all volunteers and do this every month or so. So we went there to help them out. I think it was a good way to Also, just being here for a few weeks, kind of get a sense of what the main issues here are
Mhm.
as a community, and be able to like give a hand and help out.
That's great. That's great. So when you guys were thinking about programs to choose for your master's degrees, you're both talented students, so you've got a lot of choices out there. I'm sure that you can choose among. How important was diversity and inclusivity in making that choice for you guys? How does that factor into all the many considerations that sort of go through your mind when you're making these kinds of choices for your program?
For me as a international student, the first concern is can I join this community easily? So I talked to the senior student, and they told me that it's very inclusive. And also I received a lot of emails about the admitted student visiting weekend. But I didn't come, but it makes me feel very welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I guess in my case, I was fortunate enough to come for Admitted Students Weekend, and one thing is to read about different schools and their academic programs and their opportunities, which is of course very important. But I think the main takeaway that I got from visiting Duke was, like I said before, the sense of community and openness that people have here, and especially when I talked to international students and what their experiences have been here, I had a very positive feeling about what they were telling me, and not only that they were enjoying the school as much, but also enjoying other students and the community here. So I think that was one of the, if not the main reason why I ended up coming to the university.
That's great. That's great. We do have a great admitted students visiting weekend. Ben, what's the date for that this year?
March 27th and 28th.
March 27th and 28th. So if we have anybody out there that's watching this, please come. I think it's well worth your while to come and learn a little bit about us. Also, if you have any questions that we were unable to answer here, please email our student services team, and that's at admissions@nicholas.duke.edu, and we'll be happy to respond. So if you have any questions for us, please do so. I want to thank you guys very much for joining me here today, taking the time to be here, and I want to thank you all for tuning in and learning a little bit more about the Nicholas School. We hope you'll join us. Thank you.